Hello, 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 everyone. Good time zone to you. It's your boy, your bot, your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. This is, once again, for the third day in a row, I never stream this often, goodness me, the Neoncaster Twitch channel, and the third day of Phantom Arts Fest, our tabletop RPG festival. Get hype, everybody. Thank you. For those in the US, God bless y'all coming out so early. To be absolutely terrified by the twisted tale we have for you today. We have a session of Heart, the City Beneath, a game I have been excited to play for a very, very, very long time, and I am blessed to have the opportunity to do so with our fabulous gem of this session, Ruben.
What's good? It's the sexiness slithering in your skull, ready to drag you all beneath the darkness. How we all doing?
That was terrifying.
No.
I'm good. Yes, spooky game. Also, Spirit Bed. This is going to be real talk, a little intense, but I'll let Ruben go into those kind of like content warning details as we go. But first, also welcoming back to the table, Draco.
Oh, hello. Hi there. Good morning, everybody, and I'm glad to be back, and I'm very excited to be playing in this system.
For the third time, and still crushing it every time, welcome back, C.
Oh, shucks. Good morning, everyone. Happy time zone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very Garrett on the internet at Pi Sharp Art. It is 9 a.m. I am here to kill God, and I am ready.
And we also have Tom here in the building.
Greetings, everybody. Very much looking forward to this darkish dungeon bloodborne-esque romp. Been enjoying the looks of the system ever since Ruben drew my attention to it.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to be made of bees, honestly. I'm not even kidding. While we leave the kind of like design credits for the session spinning across the stream, why don't you tell us what we are in store for with this session of Heart, That New Crack of Bone, Ruben?
Alright, so Hard as a system is very much inspired by stuff like Darkest Dungeon and Bloodborne and various like surrealist psychological horror pieces of media, and that comes with its own fair share of content warnings. So expect blood, expect descriptions of psychological violence, but we're making sure that we're not going overboard because we're all here to have fun. We're not here to cause, a brouhaha. And taking a step further than that, because I attracted the players to this campaign specifically because I want everyone to play a character who is obsessed with fulfilling their utmost libidinal, not explicitly sexual, but may have overlap with it, desires. And that comes with its own fair share of content warnings, including bees. But that's more to do with Nathan's character than anything else. But I would like to draw attention to the fact that we are using safety tools to make sure that nothing goes overboard and that we have plenty of times of repose or pause in case things get a little too uncomfortable. I might make use of them as well. We don't know how this is going to go. As far as the heaviest themes that we're going to encounter, it's definitely the descriptions of body horror. But in terms of thematic violence, yeah, it's going to get graphic. It's not going to get explicitly, border crossing, like under your skin ill. Like, why would you even say that kind of shit?
No worries. If anybody does need to step away at any time, both us as players and y'all as chat, we understand. Don't worry. Take care of yourself. But with that out of the way, let's play the new crack of bone.
Yeah. So, I think what happens is each of us gets a glimpse of scroll or papyrus unfurling within their trembling fingers. I'm gonna play some music here. Each of your letters begins with the following paragraph. Ink which strokes the cheek, words that sink nails into skin. There are things you want that are more important than yourself, more important than the fabric of reality. You are the needle and thread. There is a body without organs, a god of corpses. It has been left open to stitch up. You want this sutured? Come and do it. And then the camera zooms out to reveal each of the recipients of these letters, and I think we'll be going from the list that I have here. So please, Draco, could you read your letter?
Or do you want to do a physical description first or read the letter first?
Yeah, give me the physical description.
Okay. The beating drum is an Elfir or a high elf who has already been corrupted by their surroundings. They use they them pronouns, and they are, I would say, too long, too thin, and too sharp in their appearance, with glittering shards of mirror sticking out of their skin every once in a while, as if these were the quills of some stripped refractive feathers. And reading their letter, they say, "Protect your body. They want to take your body. They want to hurt you and put it in a coffin. You carry it on your shoulders. You moved mountains and boulders to get here, to get away from there. Now they're here too. But that coffin's your feeding trough. Put the beasts in, mash, and sing. A prayer before supper. Your motto's the melody. Stay alive at all costs."
Shivers down his spine. Oh, beautiful. I think the camera pans over to one other fourth of the cast, which is Tom's character.
Okay, the camera pans over to a man in his middle years, hair cropped very short, but he's quite a big man, sort of well built, wearing what was formerly once aristocratic finery, which has slowly degraded away with the dirt of the journey to the heart. This man goes by the name of Dr. Orban Chargath, who is searching on a quest to, for what the rest of the party believe to ail his daughter, who's been struck down by a mysterious illness. However, the truth is much darker. His daughter was killed tragically, and he's been slowly putting her back together from various parts of all the people he's encountered, including his wife and less useful children. Adjusting his reading glasses and holding the letter in his large hand, he will read quietly to himself. Death wasn't really the worst part. Body in the coffin, that's where the hurt starts. Up the altars and the headstones, who do they think all the flowers are for? Can't smell nothing, she's just bones. They cry a little less every hour, that must be real nice. They keep singing sad songs while her body rots. The death scars resemble her birthmarks. If they feel bad, fuck it, you'll have to make them pay.
Oh, I'm very glad I wrote these all for you. Goddamn. Oh, just shivers everywhere. Oh, just
That will be very neatly folded up and placed in the top pocket.
Absolutely, you keep that on your person. We head over to Nathan's character.
Contour is also an Elfir, a high elf. Absolutely within the realms of aristocracy. More money than they know what to do with. And none of that really matters, because what they really want is to actually find, well, true beauty. Cosmetic surgery is easy. Gender reassignment surgery is even easier these days. But that is not really true beauty, at least not to Contour. They've gone to extreme lengths already. In fact, they've already made themselves host to a swarm of psychic bees, for it is easier to reshape oneself when you are already made of paper and wax. They sit in a reading chair in a study somewhere in a pinstripe, midnight blue, charcoal grey, like cigarette pant suit. No shirt underneath, blazer open.
Ooh.
As this letter manifests in their hands and they give it a read. You want to talk about the fractured self? Be part of high society, so close to heaven you can't see nothing through the light. Ask for anything real and they show you to the end of the tunnel. You had the best exit a bitch could have, and your face didn't even look the part. You should go meet your maker. They owe you for half-arsing the job, and they gotta pay you back with interest.
Okay, wow. I'm actually tearing up. Wow, that's fucking incredible. Thank you. And last but absolutely not least, we head over to our last, or the fourth of the bunch, C's character.
We pan over, I think, to a pair of trembling gray hands as this drow person, they them pronouns, Para or Paradox, looks down at this letter, the deep, dark bags underneath their eyes, making them look perpetually not tired. Tired is too light a word. Exhausted. Truly, deeply exhausted all the way down to the bone as this stringy white hair kind of falls limply over their face as they read the second part of this letter. A golden locket closed tightly in one of their fists. You saw them die and you didn't get to bury them. It was part of the plan. Whose plan? Your plan? No, it wasn't. This shit was a honey trap to start. You lost your better half. They could be a tiny piece of a greater whole. That's not God, destiny, or fate. That's disrespect, a delusion, a beta boost inside a brain. No more. No more pain. And the letter burns.
It burned, of course. Chef's kiss. Your Oscars are all in the mail, by the way. We pan out from like this quadruple like split screen as letters are put away or destroyed entirely, and it zooms out, and we fly over to as the split screens kind of merge together to show one clear like conjoined image. We see now the four of them stuck together just by the sheer fact and the sheer chance that, hey, did you also get this weird letter? And, yeah, no, I got this letter and it's pulling me here. It mentioned I'm the needle and the thread. Whoa, you too? You're also a needle and thread? Hell yeah! They are bound together by just a piece of paper and the memory that it etched into their brains as they approach the god of corpses. Now, as a little bit of a physical description, the god of corpses is very much a physical location. It has been extant in the heart for how many years has it been? Ever since people found this place where a giant beast or creature or large human, giant, whatever you want to call it, it died. And with its death, it created a landmark to worship, to organize around, to visit, just for tourism's sake. And it has been so many years that it's kind of striking the dichotomy between seeing a large fleshy tube with limbs and suture marks and pock marks extending all the way into the ceiling of the heart of this subterranean complex, um, always dimly lit for some reason, and to see places of commerce, buildings and shopping streets and church life, architecture having sprouted around this landmark, this fallen being. As you approach, you see that there are many, many other pilgrims who are willing to get inside. As you approach the gate, the guards stop everyone around you. They don't stop you. They know you are coming and they let you pass into the God of Corpses, or at least the vestibule of it.
Well, of course they're going to let us pass. We, we look important, if nothing else.
You look important, Contour. I don't know about the rest of us.
Oh, no, don't sell yourself short. You definitely have the air, the essence of importance buried in you somewhere. You just need the correct eyes to see them. I'm sure Auburn's got
Or
a
the
number
correct
of eyes on
wings.
hand.
Orban will chuckle slightly and smile, throwing his arms out. Ah, it's such a beautiful looking edifice, and such the swirls and rents of humanity in such great number. I'm sure this is going to be such a fascinating place to explore.
Mm.
So
I
take
look,
his glasses off and clean them slightly, and then return.
I look forward to creating a number of new visages over this jaunt, this holiday.
As they're entering the area, the beating drum is mostly keeping quiet, perhaps with a bit of a snarl towards the guards as they pass, just out of formality. But once we're inside, you can see them sort of running their hands along any surfaces, feeling for any changes, any draw, any pull to somewhere else within the heart, or to the thing within themselves.
Oh,
So what are we meant to do here?
Have a conversation, I think. I know. Such a terror to strike up words with other people when we could be talking with other methods.
Yes. But sometimes these things must be done.
I'm sure our honoured host will make themselves apparent, though I feel we can take the opportunity to explore this wonderful fallen monument to divinity.
Absolutely. And around you, like the little area that you're in right now, called the vestibule, you see three, upwards of three or plus, whatever, a number of interesting things. The first that you see is that there is a street, a cobbled street no less, leading directly into the mouth of the God of Corpses. The mouth, as you can see from here, is giant, is closed, and there are many, many pilgrims scratching at the surface, trying to get it to open. There are blood splatters, there are limbs and other biological offal strewn about. This is a very violent crowd because so close to having your wishes fulfilled, and then the door's locked. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna wait around, are you? Outside of that, you see that there are people who have taken the more commercial approach. There is an inn on this stitched together edifice of wood and dried mud, you see on the badly slipshod painted welcome sign, in colon for the mud of dryads. Opposite it, there's a small row of stands with the kind of stuff that is being sold, clearly marked on little signs next to them. We've got a skin merchant, we've got a perfumer, we've got a chewing gum salesman, excuse me. We've got a chewing gun salesman, and there's also a gooing chun salesman. It's unclear what that is, but he's there.
Were I a dentist, not a surgeon, so looking at the entrance to this great where the crowds are.
I know it's a bit. I really want to talk to the chewing gun salesman. That sounds amazing.
Okay. Yeah, no, you can definitely just strike a conversation. The description of this chewing gun salesman is kind of a person with a very small mouth. Like we're talking someone who always talks like this, you know. The mouth is not a slit, it is an O form. They are draped in regalia of an ancient empire, or at least it invokes that impression, with banners and symbols of knights jousting and maidens dropping handkerchiefs and jesters farting directly into the face of kings. You know, it's some real regal shit. And this person approaches, or rather sees you approach, and goes, "What can I do for you?"
Darling, good afternoon. I am interested in 2 things about you today. There's a long look up and down. 1, I would be delighted to know how often that mouth over there opens.
Oh, they blush. Well, you're talking about me?
Absolutely not, darling. I'm talking about the huge maw where people are scrabbling to get inside. Your opening I'll ask about later.
Woo. Oh, okay. They seem a little dejected, but then get back into the business mode.
You should subvert you.
They say, "Well, I've been here for how long has it been? At least 10 years selling my exciting wares, and I've never ever seen the mouth open for just about anyone or anything. At this point, I don't think it's ever gonna open, but I have seen way more visitors in the past 2 years. There's definitely more of an interest and more of a tourism situation going."
Everybody wants to see the giant teeth. Feel slightly better about their own miserable dentistry, I'm sure.
It's really hard to come across a dentist, that won't sell your teeth, that won't steal your teeth, and 2, insurance. Am I right?
Contour laughs in, owns probably at least 2 insurance companies, I'm sure. The second thing.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any elderflower flavored chewing gum for sale?
Elderflower chewing gum. You are a person of exquisite taste.
Turns out I have a thing for floral flavors. Couldn't tell you why. There is a slight buzzing in the background that makes no sense, but is there.
Yeah, no, the chewing gun salesman grabs a little box. It's like the same box where dentists keep their tools in. And they get out this this display case where there is a chewing gun adorned with flower motifs and roots and vines crisscrossing the barrel and the make of it. It's like the model of a flintlock, If flintlocks were,
I see. Interesting.
If,
To explain what was in my head, and we can probably do an equivalence of like a halfway. I kind of imagined like, is it like a magazine or a clip that you have in the gun, the one that's just like stacked with bullets, almost like a Pez dispenser of chewing gum, all in the shape of little bullets, and then you chew the bullet and then blow a bubble, and then the pop fires the bullet.
Oh my goodness.
I like that idea better. The salesman goes like, "Oh, sorry, no, this is not what I was looking. This is actually not a chewing gun. This is just a regular gun. Let me get it." And then he gets out the Pez dispenser as you just described.
Excellent, thank you. There is like financial damage as one of the damage tracks, right?
Yeah. So this actually brings us to absolutely a roll. It's basically like haggle time, you know, and depending on how well you do, you get to incur or not incur stress on your supplies tracker. And if any of the other characters wants to buy something, basically money is infinite as long as you build up stress on your tracker, and until you encounter some sort of fallout on your financial situation, you can keep on buying things.
All right. Well, I do have compel as one of my skills, and I think haggling is a compel territory.
Absolutely. So give me a compel plus haven roll.
Plus haven, sure. Roll. That is a 9.
Full success. Take no stress.
Delightful. Yeah, coin is fished out of a very chic-looking snakeskin purse that then goes back inside the blazer. Thank you very much, darling. If I happen to be free after my pilgrimage, I'll check in about your opening, shall I?
They fall over with like aggressive nosebleed. And you get to grab your coin back. They won't notice.
Yeah, she absolutely just takes the coin back, puts it back in the coin purse, turns back to the crowd. Too easy.
Hell yeah.
I think while this is all happening, Para kind of leans over to Orban and goes, "Do you think that Contour could sweet talk that mouth open?"
Certainly love to see it. If anybody can, I think they'd certainly be the one. Though, given that we're likely to be here for a little bit, shall we go and source the tavern and see if we can get ourselves some rooms for the next few days?
Sure, why not? I'd like to take a look around to see if there's anything worth buying here anyway.
Absolutely. Must be important to get your sleep, he'll say, in a very sort of Doctor Knows Best kind of way.
Right. Says Para, who looks like they haven't slept in 12 years.
Oh my god. So you all make your way into the inn room? Cool. So yeah, you make your way into For the Mud of Dryads. And possibly unexpected, but at the same time very expected. It's completely empty. Everyone who is staying here around the Gods of Corpses would rather, be part of the crowd trying to make their way into the mouth instead of, wasting precious minutes sleeping or eating or whatever process you need to stay alive. But you are welcomed by a very, very short, and I mean not even 2 feet, standing on the counter, a gnoll person who takes more out. The gnolls in Heart are styled after hyenas, but I like to think that this gnoll looks more like an elephant shrew than a hyena.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Hell
Hold
yeah.
on.
Take a look at that snout. and they welcome you with. Yeah, no, you see it.
Yeah, that works. That works.
Love it.
They welcome you with not the enthusiasm you'd expect of a tavern owner, but with the the retractable hope that you would give someone nearing financial ruin. Oh, hi, welcome to my inn. What can I help you folks with?
Greetings, my statuesque friend. Myself and our 3 companions are looking for somewhere to spend possibly the foreseeable few evenings. See what rooms you can supply us with.
You sure about that? You don't want to, try to get into the mouth? Everyone tries to get into the mouth.
All in due course. Such tasks of great importance should not be rushed into or rattled with, like the crowds outside.
You mean that? Their tears are forming in their little eyes.
Aww.
Several of your best rooms, please.
Okay. They jump off the counter, which is like 3 feet high, so they almost die doing so, but they survive. And they lead you up the stairs to, this isn't luxury. It has a bed frame. That's where the sentence ends.
No
The very
mattress.
concept of a bed.
I'm sorry, it's not the best rooms. I'm sure you fine looking adventurers have experienced in the past, but it's conceptual. It's kind of like an experience. That's what I provide, experiences.
It's perfect. It's exactly what I could have hoped for after such a long journey. Thank you, my friend.
Would you like to pay me though?
Yes, of course. So that'll be a compel with not standard compel ribbon.
So that depends if you want to like haggle for the price. You could also just like roll a d6 for straight up supply stress, but you can break this person's heart.
Oh no, I'll take the financial stress. I think it's
Got him.
All right, so
let's give it a roll. A 3 on my fortune.
on your
Supplies.
supplies,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Yep.
3 stress. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna make you roll Fallout for just buying an in-room. That's ridiculous. But yeah, you now have access to a haunt of your own where you can recharge, clear stress, and just always come back to after to deliberate after encountering whatever this place has got to offer.
Wonderful.
The knoll repels or like has to use climbing gear to get back to their counter, but they do so valiantly, and they leave you alone.
Is there any kind of religious or occult paraphernalia in here or being sold anywhere around here, given how close this tavern is to the corpse itself?
Outside, you saw that there were, aside from the chewing gum and gun salesman, there were the skinless skin merchant and a perfumer.
I think Para will eventually wander over to the perfumer, looking just. I'm now just curious about what these people have. Curious about their wares.
Wonderful. I have to move. I don't have an inventory ready. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, no, you are welcomed by a darling looking let's say drow with I would say lashes that you could kind of hang clothes from, and with bangles and accessories that make entire songs being composed every time they so much as jiggle, you know.
Mm.
And they stand at attention. They spread out their arms to gesture at the wares in front of them on the purple tablecloth stand. There's beautiful perfume bottles. There's little spray things. There's even what do you call them? The things you hang like in the inside of like air fresheners, but for
Oh my god.
wagons and for the inside of your cart.
I think Para gives all of this a look over with a discerning eye before looking back at the shopkeep and smiling, though it like doesn't really touch their eyes as they do, and they say, "It is very interesting that you can be selling such frivolous, beautiful things in this place and still make enough to be living to stand in front of me now. You must be selling something rather special."
Oh, I see you've cracked the code. Yeah, no, this perfume business is just a front. Do I know you from somewhere? Where did you hear about this?
Where did I hear about this? I've heard about it for forever. And it doesn't take much beyond a discerning eye to see that whatever you're doing here is not truly based in perfume.
Well, the jig is up. But would you like to see the wares of what I'm actually selling then?
Yes, I don't have much time for frivolity.
Looks like you don't have much time for sleep either. Are you sure I can't sell you this one? And they grab a bottle with like a drowsy purplish looking liquid. This one helps sleeping.
See, the thing is, darling, I don't need to sleep.
Oh.
I don't.
Oh, are you one of those ice bath people? Oh, I see. Well, okay. No, I'll get the good stuff out. I see. There's no use selling this to you. And they remove the tablecloth, and you see like where the tablecloth used to work. Like there's a grate and a vitrine that just shows big jars filled with undulating flesh things. Now these
Ah, that's more
are
like it.
fetishes that can offer you ample protection against whatever you might encounter, because I can tell you're not here for just tourism's sake. That much is clear.
Perhaps not. Though I don't think those people pulling each other apart at the mouth of a dead god are here for tourism. Though perhaps this world is rather fucked, isn't it?
I've always likened that their attempts are kind of an excursion into faith, but not actually walking the path of destiny or anything resembling it. See, you carry yourself with such a burden. I can't help but think you are meant for something very, very good, such as buying one of these organs.
Meant for... No, darling, I think I'll choose which one I want myself. And just based on, like, vibes alone, which one of these little jars is calling to me?
Let's see. I think the jar with there's like certain science museums have like the entire cardiovascular system preserved, but nothing else. There's like a cardiovascular system there, but you're not sure what it's from. But it speaks to you.
Ironic, is it not? You can pull out the heart and yet still it beats. And they pull up that jar. You seem rather interested in destiny and fate. Perhaps we can trade a barter.
Oh, what would you offer me?
And Para pulls out a deck of fortune-telling cards.
Oh?
Passes one of the cards between their fingers. A reading on the house.
Okay. Give me a compel. I think. What domain would this be? Let me have a look here.
Would it be a cult, maybe?
I think it might be a cult, and you get
Yeah.
knack. You get a knack, so an extra D10 for doing this.
Ooh. How do I add that in the Roll20?
Let's see. So I think on your outgoing, yeah, you get to click the mastery box, and just hit +1.
Beautiful. Excellent. Love to see it. Roll. 8
Hey,
total.
full success. I mean, they agree. They're like, I've been stuck in this place for so long. Please read whatever the invisible stars have in store for me, and let it be something that isn't here.
And just hearing that, I think Para does like a little reading for this person. But the way that they interpret the cards, I think, is very singular and very much their own kind of interpretation. Insofar as, like, this is interesting, but not surprising. Your stars have abandoned you in this place. There's no one looking out for you here. Perhaps you have this feeling of wanting to run because the only thing holding you back at this point is you. So why not just reach out and take it? Run.
They kind of drop their heads, like on their hands as they sulk on the stand. I was like, honey, don't I know it? I've given up so many good opportunities just to chase after whatever spark. Sometimes I think it might be better to live in darkness, in pure monotony, than to attempt anything else, because at least it's safe here. But I'll take your words to heart. No pun intended.
That's the thing. And they kind of fold the cards back up. Nowhere is really safe. Have a good rest of your day.
I'm not sure if I want to wish the same to you, but good luck with whatever. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, they,
But where I'm going, I don't need luck.
Awesome. Yeah, they wave you goodbye, and I guess you, or before you rejoin the rest of the group, does anyone else have, something they wanted to do?
Yes, just because the beating drum hasn't really gotten to do anything yet.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and say that they are taking a look at a distance around the mouth, because, after all, the mouth is not the only hole that a head has. Perhaps there's something that is being overlooked by others that might provide some other way forward. Or at the very least, something interesting to see.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be a discern roll.
A discern roll, okay.
And you want to apply the, let's say, religion domain.
Be that. Standard roll?
Yes. Ooh, that's a 6. Take stress. Yeah, no, what does go well for you is that from this vantage point, and I feel like you've done this, the beating drum has done this before, but scout out, preparing for the hunt almost. You see that this crowd, from the entrance, it looked like, oh, it's a crowd pushing in on self, trying to see whatever. But upon closer inspection, you see this is a constant battle. Bodies are being torn apart, being flung out of the crowd, being replaced with new people who see, like, oh, a slot's opened up, a position in the queue is opened up. As you focus on what's being done, you realize, like, trying to get past these people or doing anything that catches their attention would result in inviting the ire of whoever's in there. And as that happens, you focus and you actually almost get knocked over by another pilgrim willing to enter, willing to test their luck in this mass of bodies. They don't apologize to you.
No, of course not. I'm probably going to bite them.
Yeah, do you bite them?
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and bite. And
Oh, yeah.
not as an intentional, like, oh, I'm starting a fight, just as the payback for being shoved.
Absolutely. Rolling kill for that seems a little too over violent. So I'm gonna let you roll hunt for this one.
Okay.
Show you who's prey, who's not.
Right. Any
Hunt.
domain on that? Or
Yeah, I think Haven.
Haven. Very well. Can I argue the fact that the beating drum's teeth have been replaced with a set of metal teeth that are all incisor and predatory for a possible circumstantial mastery?
I like that. I think, yeah. Well, would that increase the damage done, or would that increase the likelihood of this going well? Whatever.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I'll give it to you. No, you made your point. Go ahead, give yourself
fair
mastery. Hey. Yeah, that's a 9. Tell me how this goes.
I think that they do kind of, when they're pushed, reflexively whip around and just sink their teeth into the shoulder of this person. And they do take a decent chunk when it goes, just ripping straight through the flesh. But the job done, they slink backwards away through the crowd to avoid further conflict. Tit for tat, as it were.
Ooh, yeah, no, you see that this person, like, yells in pain and trying to see, like, who just did that to me, is just kind of swinging around. Like, what part of the body did you take a chunk out of?
Shoulder.
Shoulder. Yeah, with one limp arm, just kind of like swinging and like splashing blood all over the crowd, just trying to, see who did that, who does that. And the crowd responds in turn by attacking this already wounded person. From the crowd flies an object that they were carrying, which is, I'm gonna say it looks to be a matchbox, but there's more to it than that. Do you pick it up?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. I'll add to your inventory a little item.
Excellent.
And that item is matchbox grenade.
Mmm.
Do you all reassemble with just regroup?
Yes. What stress am I taking from that situation, since that was a partial success?
No stress. Like, it could
No
have
stress?
gone whatever you the stress, quote unquote, was you getting knocked over, and it resolved perfectly. No harm
Excellent.
done.
Delightful.
Should we gather in the sort of main tap room of the inn?
Sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Cool.
So what have we all found then? Contour says, they seem to have brought their own glasses. It's still whatever, like, moonshine / piss water beer this inn sells, but it's in a martini glass because she has one to hand.
Oh my god.
So what did we find then? Apparently that mouth hasn't opened in at least a decade.
Almost as if it was a religious symbol, a thing to get close to just the teeth.
Perhaps another way into this edifice? Or do we trust on our weighted destiny that if we can get to the front of the crowd, that it'll open for us?
I wouldn't. We can carve our own path. I personally have decided to wear my heart on my sleeve. And they push the jar kind of forward into the middle of the table and smile a little bit.
Oh? Well, what's this then?
I'm not quite sure. But it did lead me down here, or something like it.
Well, even though I don't necessarily put much stock in the conventional wisdom of how a human head should go, Contour says, idly using a clay crafting tool to readjust the angles of her left cheekbone. Usually, if you have a mouth, you usually have other orifices to let air and water in and out. Maybe there is an ear or an eye. Ingress is a little easier that way, possibly.
Doc, don't they always say that the eyes are the window to the soul?
You get a sort of funny look as the light sort of glints across Orban's glasses, just hiding his eyes momentarily. Say, yes, the eyes. They're somewhat the most important. You can tell a lot from the eyes. Such blue eyes. And he sort of regains composure a little bit. There's also the potential that there's a way down to the... I mean, actually, a question for the GM more than anything. Is there anything we can see below the neck, or is it that just descends into the earth below kind of thing?
The opposite, actually. Like, the head is like, it extends all the way into the ceiling and is hanging down, and its head, along with the mouth closed, is sort of like resting on the ground. Like, if you've played Monster Hunter, it kind of looks like Kazoo almost a bit.
Yeah.
So no eyes.
No eyes.
Right.
Unsure about ears, though. You did not get close, or the beating drum did not get close enough to see what else is there.
I think one way or another we're going to have to negotiate that crowd. Perhaps some level of diplomacy, forceful diplomacy, allowed as a secondary.
At that, you hear a voice, or a triptych of voices going, and we can help with that. Suddenly, you see 3 creatures appear in front of you.
Oh my.
Good lord.
I love them, Your Honor.
My name's Rodamante. I can get you in anywhere. The first goblin speaks. The second one says, and I'm Bradamante. I can give you what you need as long as you listen to me. The middle goblin says. The last one says, and I'm Ruggiero. I just want to show you the way. We are your guides in this holy, unholy place. That we are. So, you said you wanted access to the god of corpses, but you don't know how to open a mouth? But I did see, Professor over here mention, how do we disperse the crowd? Well, thankfully, there is a well. Yes, there is a way. Did you know that this little shopping avenue isn't the only thing that's in the God of Corpses? There are 3 factions circling around it that you can gain access to, and perhaps help achieve your goals. Yes, we have industry, institution, and the elections. A 3-part piece of a circle, each with their own motives and ideas, wishing to gain access to the God of Corpses, infinitely more organized than the mass of people trying to force their way in. Perhaps enlisting the help of such a faction might open things up for you.
Hmm. Uh, just a note, because you're possibly on the GM layer, if you're pinging each of them in turn, we can't see. You might need to be on the token layer for that.
No, that was an accident.
No, you're good. Second question. Well, yeah, there's like, elections. Well, that sounds interesting. Why don't you give us a bit of a rundown of what these 3 powers that be actually are? I assume nothing is as straightforward as a name in these parts.
We have Rodamonte, the first goblin, going, I'm glad you asked. What you want is, of course, to enter into the service or cooperate, partner up with industry. Industry represents the beautiful thing we can do with such a valuable resource that is a giant fallen god. We want to make it into something entirely different. Use it to better humanity or to rake in a good profit. Rodamonte is then shoved away by Bradamonte, who goes, Don't listen to Rodamonte. You want to go to you want to go to election, because what is better than the best, the smartest minds that the world has to offer, coming up with an idea to grant power to the rest of the world? I want to invite all of you to meet the 6 twins who represent all of democracy. 12 people, that's so many people. The last one, Yugiero, goes, or you might not want to listen to any of them. In fact, I used to be part of election until I saw the light. Institution is where you might seek salvation and therefore your answers. Don't you want to follow something glorious into something even more glorious? They even brought their own god here to another god of corpses. A meeting of gods can be facilitated. What better purpose is there than that?
I am rather inclined toward the the teachings of the academics.
The inexorable march of industry has always been beneficial to me so far.
You
don't
do have
necessarily
that
seem
about you,
like the
don't you, Contour?
institutional type beating drum. All of these seem all a little too organized for you.
I would agree. Out of curiosity, does the sound of the beating drum pull him towards towards any of the particular goblins, or does it lead elsewhere?
It's interesting because each of them have their own form of syncopated rhythm. But for you, what you can feel in your heart of hearts is that election. So Bradamante speaks out to you. It makes the most sense.
Okay.
Like in the same way that listening to happy hardcore can either give you like heartburn or like get you feeling pumped up. Like Bradamante's rhythm. Yeah, no, this is it.
That said, elections are competition. That might be interesting.
Best of both worlds, perhaps.
We have a
Yes.
tie between these three. I guess that makes Orban the tiebreaker.
One looks and considers slightly, and then will smile and hold his arms outwards. I feel in this particular instance, I would offer my vote towards the beating drums suggestion. I don't believe their nose has ever led us astray when hunting for something in particular.
Or their teeth.
Exactly. That would be my call then.
Well, I have rigged an election or 3 in my time. I suppose I can do one more. Smile.
The other two shrink in dejection and shame that they did not manage to convince.
Embarrassed, devastated.
Just
They'll never
absolute-
recover.
Just melt, like their feet are melting in some sort of embarrassment juice as Bradamante, the middle goblin, steps forward. Excellent. I will lead you to, well, the voting station that will lead us to victory and emanation. And she does a little butt wiggle at the other two. I will meet all of you at the entrance to the elections. Well, you might have to pass through one of the other two to get there, because, of course, democracy is gatekept by, for good reasons. It's put behind. What's the word? Checks and balances.
Bureaucracy.
And she gives you, I guess like a piece of paper where it's shown like the layout of the God of Corpses, and you see like as a perfect pie chart. Is that right now where you are? It's just a small piece of the pie. It's the vestibule, like I said, and then to the left of the vestibule is where institution resides, and that is a third of the area. To the right of the vestibule, there is industry, also 1/3. And then the top part, connecting both, is elections.
Well, it seems that we are not going to be able to rest on that bed frame for too long. I'm kind of eager to get things going, aren't you? You feel it, don't you?
Yes.
I do
Let us
feel
make
as
our
though
way.
I've been waiting too long. Exactly right, beating drum. Let us
She-
march to your tempo.
She hands you all a pass card, or not a pass card. It's more of a diploma that says like, "Congratulations, you are now eligible to vote." It's the diploma does not have your name on it. It's an entirely different name. It also has a picture that is entirely a different person than you are.
Well, that's
Delightful.
not necessarily too much of a problem. Can I make a roll to reshape my face, please?
Absolutely. That would be a sneak roll,
Ooh.
I think, because that's stealth, subterfuge.
Yeah.
If me,
Sneak roll, sneak roll, and what domain?
I think that would be when you're trying to morph your face into something,
Mm-hmm.
what you don't understand. So let's just say occult.
Sure. Sneak and occult. Well, a 7.
7.
That's a
is
cost.
a success at a cost. Yes. Where do you prepare? Do you just do this in front of everyone?
Oh yeah, because this is pretty casual for Contour to do. He likes to reorganize his face just when this particular visage gets boring. So the idea of, just replicating a picture to do something in the short term isn't too out there for his behavior. So yeah, he gets out this kind of like clay or wax sculpting tool. It's like shaped in a way where it's bladed and flat on one side and like curved and pressing on another, and then using a very delicate looking pocket mirror in one hand starts to reshape her face with the other.
Cool. I want you to tell me what this new visage looks like, and I want you to tell me something that goes wrong with the sculpting.
I think everything about this head could be described as high and tight. The ponytail that she has, for one, but also just in terms of like the way that the cheekbones are angled, the corners of the eyes, the kind of like stretch on the forehead. This person definitely had probably not amazing plastic surgery at some point in the past to kind of retain an idea, a facsimile of youth. But I think in trying to, the smile of this, like, I guess passport photo is quite wide, and no, wider than that. There you go. Yeah, that's about it. And just kind of like tearing into the side, and it's a little lopsided, it seems. So one in kind of like idle expression, the right side of Contour's mouth hangs slightly open.
Oh no. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to have you roll. Actually, no. I think this is a minor fallout, a very specific one on your blood tracker. Anything? No, sorry. Fortune, I think, makes more sense. Fortune, minor fallout. You take any roll that requires social interaction is now risky.
Until, or does it just stay?
Until you fix your mouth.
Got it. And otherwise, I look just like this very high and tight person in this little document that says we're allowed to vote.
Yeah, no, Rodamonte goes, "Ew!" Ruggiero goes, "Wow!" And Rodamonte goes like, yes, adequate. Very good. Now,
I think the more than the discretion of disgust, the response of adequate is what makes Contour's face darken.
Absolutely. And
Oh, they didn't mean that. You look lovely.
Much appreciated.
Vision, as always.
Yes. It's fascinating every time you do that.
Oh, well, if it's putting on the show that much, I should probably start charging. Voice slightly affected by their mouth not working quite right. Shall we go before I get bored and reshape this thing, like, subconsciously?
Yes, let's make it.
And with that, the goblins also disappear. Only hearing Bradamonte's voice. When you get there, I will reappear and guide you. Guide you.
It is so interesting how the most necessary items fall into your lap exactly when you need them. Until you really, really need them. And then they're gone.
You always have been a bit of a fatalist, Paradox.
Perhaps. And you have always been lovely, shall we?
My, you always are a charmer. Side of lip hanging open, just exposed tooth. Where is the, I guess, the fleshy underground train station to where we need to get going to?
I like that actually.
Because there is
think...
literally a train station system within the heart if we want to try
Yes!
and ride that. But that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, there is a thing called the Vermissian Line, which we don't talk about. That's public transit when it's underfunded, folks. It creates horrors beyond your imagination. And right
I
now,
do like horrors.
ooh, well, interesting.
Mm.
I think then, for the sake of, because as I did over, I did keep mentioning like the tourist factor. I think there might be not a Vermissian line, but like a Vermissian trolley that takes you through like the domains to where you have to go.
Some
There's
of the
like
outer parts of the labyrinth that are mapped a little better than the non-Euclidean stuff further in.
no, exactly. And since the powers that have assembled around this god of corpses do act as a stabilizing factor, you can build a train here. It's fine. And,
Like the idea of a trolley bus, but it's almost like strings of ligaments that are hanging from various cross wires across the street tops in certain areas.
I was thinking, okay, arachnophobia. Does anyone have it?
No.
Nope.
Not
Yeah, but
in game.
not enough to bother me.
Right.
So please go ahead.
I was thinking just like an upside down spider, sort of like crawling across this suspended iron rope,
Yes.
Oh,
and it like hanging onto it is like a little, what is it like, just a little platform that you sit on and wait.
like
Almost like a ski lift.
lift. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Spider ski lift.
I must
how
ride the
delightful.
spider ski lift immediately.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, it's actually just beyond the perfume salesman. They give Para a little like uninterested wave as they pass, and yeah, there's like a little gate, and you see a very familiar face. You see the innkeeper, also manning the
Oh my god.
the spider ski lift. All aboard! All aboard! Anyone?
You should probably help that poor fellow onto the carriage, old Ben. It's a little too short to do it themselves.
Yes, indeed. Come, my friend, we require use of your services again.
Oh my god, you're my first and probably last customers in decades. I put so much of my money and my estate into getting a spider ski lift going. No one's using it. But you are. That's great.
Such a fine beast, I'll say, looking up at it.
Her name's Bertha.
Bertha.
For some reason, the spider like rears its head at you. It's got immaculate makeup.
That tracks. There is a whole kind of like cult of spider matrons back in the home city of the Spire. So I guess
That's true.
they've found other work. They've decided to work further afield. I understand the hustle.
Yeah, public service. It's calling.
The onboard snacks are spider donuts made by real spiders.
Very good. So, where are you folks headed?
We're eligible to vote, so we'd like to go and get registered.
Well, right now the spotlight only goes to the middle part of industry because, well, only industry really needs to carry. Well, it forces me really, doesn't really pay me to carry out the corpses.
Can we still walk
As you
in?
say.
A lot of them, but you can go there if you want.
Sounds scrumptious. Let's head there first, then.
Great. That's one. Okay, Bertha, giddy up. And yeah, no, you don't have to pay anything. This is this public money, maybe.
Mm.
You get onto the spider lift.
Delightful. Now, does the spider lift actually go high enough to clear all of the buildings, or does it feel a little bit heinous at times?
Oh,
As we-
definitely heinous. This is
Excellent.
barely taking you above the ground, and as you approach the industry section, you see the reason why it won't go higher than that.
Mhm.
Let me play different kind of music here. As the spider lift takes you deeper into the part of industry, you see what is essentially an overgrown forest of rafters and lattice works. From these lattices, workers hang on to their lives by a thin thread and an even thinner paycheck. Often, literally, they are hanging from paper. They are performing maintenance duties. They are painting over painted sections of the lattice works. They are seeing what else they can build on. It seems that they are building or trying to build closer to the highest they can get of the God of Corpses. On your left side and right side and in front side, and basically all around you, you see blood splatters of those whose incomes snapped, causing them to subsequently fall to their deaths. Now, as you go deeper into the industry part, you see one of the goblins appear again. Rhodamonte, the one on the left.
I see you've changed your mind. Welcome to industry. It's a great place to seize your future, become a self-starter.
You
I was
really
promised.
do try, don't you? Go on, beating drum. What were you promised?
Corpses.
Wow. Okay. That's a little intense, buddy. Wow. Let's see. Hey, foreman.
And they yell out to a nearby foreman, obviously sitting on like one of those umpire's chairs that you see next to tennis courts, being carried on the back of a very, very sad and broken-looking guy. He comes closer, and you might recognize this person as a member of the Incarnadine sect. The Incarnadine sect is a religious institution of the god of death. Overseers who have raked up such an amazing amount of death that it becomes or takes on a religious form, and with all of its divine retribution that it might entail. The purpose, it seems, is to clear the depths for these people, for these overseers, using whatever means they have necessary. So the overseer jostles closer. He goes, "Yeah, what seems to be the issue here? Don't hold up the lift, because productivity is dropping as we speak." "Oh, you seem to have a question," and he points at the beating drum.
I see plenty of blood, but not much meat. Where has it gone?
"Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. The meat, of course, is planted back into the fertile meat soil over at the gardens, so we can grow more workers in case they fall to their death. Death. That one."
Does he point the direction towards said meat gardens? Or
Absolutely.
Okay, is that roughly in the direction that we feel like we should be heading to get to the election location?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's you're almost at the end station at the terminus,
Mhm.
and it is beyond there.
Okay.
Stopping off on the Starbucks on the way there, I understand.
Perhaps we can stop in for a snack then.
Oh, hey, we need if you're here to take off the partake of the rations, you're gonna have to show that you are, eligible for extra worker compensation.
Well, it's not really what I had in mind. Perhaps we can just get a taste of the talent around here.
Ooh. Oh,
Flash the teeth at this person.
Mm-hmm. I think I might assist
Oh.
with that.
I see. Okay, so we're kind of doing like a scouting. Okay, no, I'm willing to do business.
Yeah, do you happen to have a business card? We can do an exchange. Contour pulls out their own business card. Midnight blue, embossed with gold inlaid text.
Ooh.
What businesses or what is like? How do you advertise yourself?
Oh, there
Contour?
is a list, and it gets like smaller as you go. Like it turns into very fine print. There is a line of beauty parlors, 2 insurance companies, some real estate.
He looks it over, and he's like, "Oh, Contour Insurance. Yeah, no, the workers here have that. Well, the better ones do."
With this hapless foreman in range, just to also use the tools that we have and explore the game mechanics, I would like to use my smoker equipment to
Ooh.
put him off on his to kind of put him unawares, so if somebody decided to go and take a snack, they wouldn't see it coming.
Absolutely. I feel that's a compel in the making.
Okay.
I think this is Haven. You definitely get mastery on your smoker.
Okay. So I have the dice roll button next to my tool. I guess it's to roll the damage on it rather than the actual doing. Okay. So it's a compel and Haven. We have mastery. This is technically a social roll, so it's at risky.
Well, you're not. Yeah, you are. You are using words to try to compel him. So yeah. So risky is a roll that
drops the highest die value, so I
strike
best
the
roll high
highest.
twice. I am rolling with 3 dice though, so hopefully it pulls through.
Let's see.
All of those were bad.
Ooh.
All of them sucked.
Ouch.
Oh yeah.
Goodness.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah. I know what you're looking at.
No, it's before I roll dice to resolve an action. I have missed the timing.
Yeah. In that case, the foreman looks again over the business cards and then looks at the workers and then realizes, wait a second, because of health insurance, we're not getting enough meat. This is all your fault. And upon that, he strikes the. Actually, he detaches the chair from the back of the poor guy carrying it, and lurches forward and actually hits you.
Are you gonna bop me with the chair? Sure. Okay.
Give him the chair.
From downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Hold on, I have a stat list here somewhere.
Oh gosh, we get to resolve both big fallouts and how to take damage and things like that all at once. Goodness me.
Yeah, no. Roll a d6 as you are ladder matched directly.
Sure. I don't think there's a button in the character sheet to do that, so I will just slash R1d6.
Yeah, that's the only thing missing from this character sheet. Okay.
2.
Now multiply that by 2, because you crit failed.
Sure. So I take 4. I have this is to my blood since I'm being physically attacked.
Correct.
I also have uncanny biology gaining me 2 blood protection, so that is reduced by 2 to just 2 stress total.
Absolutely. So yeah, you get 2 blood stress. And this is fun because now I get to see if Fallout is being applied. So Fallout is when the GM rolls a single d12 and trying to score under the amount of stress a character has taken.
Mhm.
If it is under that number, they receive fallout.
I swear, if you roll a 1 now,
Oh, you're good.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good. Mhm,
But no,
mhm.
in this like super quick escalation, you see, a chair falling on top of you. You see workers scrambling to the foreman's attention as they are ordered to do battle with you because they'll get more meat as a reward.
The chair lodges in Contour's waist, and you can, hear the kind of like tear of paper, maybe the squish of like wax or maybe clay, and the chair sticks there. He's maybe having a hard time getting it back out again.
Okay, yeah, no, keep that in mind that you have a chair lance in you.
Just lodged in my waist. I might pull that out and use it to club someone with later.
Okay.
You always bring me to the sweetest situations, Contour. And the cleaver is out, whether it's my turn or not.
Okay, I'm looking at time, and we're exactly at the midway point. Do we want to take a 5-minute break and then
Yeah,
do this,
on the
do
cusp
this
of
thing?
combat. Sounds good.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Lovely.
Marvelous. Well, I suppose we'll see what will happen to our heroes. That doesn't sound particularly appropriate. But we'll see what happens to our maybe victims in 5 minutes. Please stay on the line. We'll be back soon. Farewell. Hello. We are back with more That New Crack of Bone. So far, our killers of indescribable passion are making their way on the spider tram to the realm of election. But before we manage to get to our true destination, we've made a pit stop in the realm of industry for lunch. Or at least, meat is definitely on the menu.
All right, yeah, no, we are immediately met with the music kicking. Yeah, with a mass of angry workers and a trio of overseers, 2 of which are still on their throne chairs. One of them is making finger guns at you, ready to throw down. Now, combat in the heart is without order. It's just whoever has an idea, go for it.
Well, since the foreman is rather close, I think the beating drum will go ahead and lunge with their cleaver.
That
Going
sounds like
for a kill.
roll.
Oh, yes. Now, question for you. I have the kill skill, and the cleaver has the kill tag. Does that mean it adds mastery to that, or no? Or it can just be used as a part of a kill?
Yeah, it means if you use it, then you would get like a temporary kill skill because of that. Because of this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, roll me a kill and haven.
Kill and haven. All right. Ooh.
Oh, baby!
We all.
Oh my god.
Oh, and even better because it's brutal.
Okay, no, you don't even have to roll your stress die. Tell me what happens to this thing, for this person.
Okay. I think that the beating drum goes in low, and due to their kind of extended form, they sort of skitter a bit and bring the cleaver up from low to high, essentially flaying this person as they go up. How let's see, I'm already rolling twice for this as it is because it's brutal. Do you want me to roll the damage or just no? Okay. Okay, then I think suddenly this foreman just goes from having a face to not having a face.
What remains of their face turns towards an invisible Oculus camera and goes, "Talk about budget cuts," and then explodes in a fountain of blood.
Delightful.
Wow. No, the workers, upon seeing this, have, and also because you've just essentially killed 1/3 of their drivers, lose some of their, shall we say, confidence, and they are backing off a little bit.
Delightful. Who's up next?
All right then. With a kind of like snap, Contour pulls this lodge chair out of their waist. It seems this is going to be a hostile takeover. Is there any other kind of foreman in range? I think it's immediately intuited that targeting the foreman is the sensible idea under current circumstances. Which is the other foreman in range of us?
With your ranged attacks, yes, or if you decide to use the chair as some sort of weapon, because it does have a long reach.
I think still holding the chair in one hand, Contour puts a well-manicured finger to like the top of the in the middle of their chest at the top of the rib cage and just runs the finger down like slightly past the sternum, and the skin there just opens and a swarm of bees flies out.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Release. It's beautiful. They are glittering. They have this kind of like iridescent purple green reflect to them. As they just kind of fill the immediate space and just go straight for the nearest foreman's head and surround their head, stinging from all sides in like a whirl.
Alright, give me that kill skill. And I think this would count as quite a cult.
Yes, I would agree. To kill and occult. It's a ranged spread attack. This is not social, so it's standard. Waha. Yep. It's still bad though.
Oh, buddy.
I really should remember to activate this like number lock before I roll.
Yeah, I mean it's only you can use it once per session, so hold on to that. Yeah. No, what happens is that bees, of course, are a very industrious animal, and they follow a queen, and with the authority that is given to them by managerial capitalism, the overseer looks at the bees swarming them and goes like, "Actually, you get a pay rise if you attack your master." And those bees rebel against you and instead hit you for however much your damage die goes.
D4.
Roll D4 against yourself.
All right.
My bees!
We can
No!
just use this
It's a
one.
lot. Okay. Doesn't do a lot, but you still, the rebel bees sting you, and upon realizing what they've done is, they've betrayed their comrades, their house, their compeer for the promise of some quick buck. They quietly and shamefully retreat back within your body.
Assuming that was blood damage, I have the protection, so that's just fully soaked. They tried. Yep. They sting the master and nothing happens, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is a waste of time." And
You'll give them a
sheepish about it.
stir talking to later.
Well, I tried.
Okay, and upon that failure, one of the overseers is actually going to go in on the offensive and takes a look at the party before them from their very, very high seat and reaches out a hand at Orban. And Orban, I want you to roll Endure plus... let me see what I have here. Haven.
Okay. Standard roll, risky roll.
Very standard.
6.
6. Okay. What happens is you are barraged with ideas of consuming meat, and throughout this, what's the word here? Kaleidoscope of meaty visage. You managed to make some sense of it. You managed to take back control of some of it, but there's still the meat keeps calling out to you. Like whatever the meat gardens may provide, it does not leave your brain. And I'm going to have you roll a d4 for mind stress.
Points of mind stress.
Baby.
Oof.
All right,
Yikes.
let's go for the Fallout test. Oh,
Ooh.
you're safe.
I think
Yes.
that's. Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, I was done.
The doctor sort of stretches his hands out. It's like, calm, friends. We must put aside our differences and try not to. And as he's doing this, presumably there's some labourers sort of coming towards him, and all of a sudden he's like huge, like ham-like fist sort of comes out and tries to grab the head of one of these people who's trying to bother him as he's trying to defuse the situation. I'd like to make a kill roll if possible, Ruben. That'd be doable.
Absolutely. So, would you? What domain would this fall in? Because it's quite called cursed. I'm thinking cursed.
Okay, that seems fair. We'll see how it goes before I describe how it works.
Yeah.
Aha.
Hey, very good.
Okay, so presuming as he was trying to, worker sort of dives for him. His huge hand sort of comes out and grasps the worker by the head and sort of lifts him up. Shh. And just trying to speak and just hurls the worker from the side of the gantry that we're on, while remaining that sort of quite happy, diplomatic smile.
Very good. Are you directing the worker projectile at anything?
I think it's more of a psychological attack for the other workers because, this quite big man, he's just done this without merely an afterthought. He's like tossed this, anyway, like some sort of gnat almost. So I suspect it's more an intimidation than an actual trying to throw them at somebody.
Yeah, so where once was workers protecting the chair carriers, they are retracting and retreating back into their barracks almost. This is, clearly more than they were signed up for. So the overseers right now are completely unprotected.
That sounds like a good time that sounds like the perfect opportunity for Para to take a roll of fortune moment here. Wheel of Fortune? What am I talking about? Here I am. Insofar as I think, despite how they look kind of like a washed out version of what, the most tired person on Earth looks like, somehow more tired, I think as soon as all of this blood starts flying and blows are being traded, something in their back, stiffens and straightens. And they suddenly look a little bit more powerful than you might have expected, and they move with alarming speed toward the last one of the last overseers, and they draw their hungry knife, and with almost anatomical robotic precision, they are just going wordlessly in for a jab.
Absolutely. Give me that kill Haven skill.
You got it. Let's see. A 5.
Ooh, that is a failure. Take stress. So, as you going for the lunge, you realize, that these overseers are pretty high up, and in order to get to them, you have to get them from their chairs first. So you use the chair carrier to like as a jumping board and try to reach them. But as you go up, you realize that in midair there's very little to protect you from whatever these overseers are gonna throw at you. And as a response, before you are able to put your knife into their flesh, they hit you with a little device of their own make, which sprays like a corrosive mist onto you. I'm gonna have you roll a d6 on your blood tracker.
Aha! Roll 20, please. You have forsaken me.
It's /r space d6.
That's okay. I googled it. It's a 4.
Okay. Giving you 4 blood stress with a fallout test in tow. No fallout.
Lucky.
Woo!
Calling out to the fallout. Well, as the more stress accumulates, the more risk occurs. Yeah, no, you're hit with this corrosive mist and fall back to the ground. I think you fall. You land on your feet, but yeah, burning sensations all around you.
Yeah, I think Para hisses a little bit and they dig their knife into the ground, white knuckling it a little bit. This intense look in their eye.
Okay. The other overseer actually calls out to everyone, saying, "Stop! Stop! Stop! Okay, we're wasting resources here. We're wasting productivity here. All these workers are supposed to work, and look at what we're doing. We're fighting for what? I don't know what we're doing. Listen, I have a business proposition that I want to make. We want to get into the God of Corpses. And I presume that you're here because you want to do that too. Now, for some reason, the God of Corpses is not opening up to us. But we have a feeling that we should perfect our industry here, our ideas. And that will allow us audience with whatever's inside and allow us to harvest whatever's inside. So, you seem all like capable people. We can continue beating the shit out of each other, but we can also come to an agreement.
There's a, slow regaining of composure, the kind of patting the self down, the bees slowly reconstructing, I guess, the several broken vertebrae that the kind of slammed chair inflicted. That doesn't sound too bad, but we are kind of hungry after all that. Do you mind if we stop for a snack?
In return, will you help us?
There's a non-plus blink. Sure, whatever.
Perfect. Now, please lay down your weapons. And the overseer hollers at a couple of workers to bring the thoroughly bisected overseer with them to the meat gardens.
Can we smash cut to meat gardens where we're just having a nice little picnic with just corpses? We've got a nice gingham mat. There's a basket and everything. There's a little thermos of water. We're having a nice time, but we are just in a graveyard / farm.
Oh yeah, you're having it's a beautiful Burberry carpet on which you're having lots of meat. There's meat shakes, there's meat burgers, meat fries, a lot of meat. Also, from the ground in these meat gardens, you see half-grown workers growing rather, and kind of having conversations with each other. Presumably they're still, whatever's under the earth is still yet to grow fully. But they're cognizant and they're quite pleasant.
Ooh.
I think while we're in this meat garden, Para is actually still with the same kind of intensity and the grip on their hungry knife. Since it's hungry and it did not get fed, they need to feed that thing. And they are also a little bit driven in this moment. I think they're looking through the meat garden, pulling different slabs apart, looking for anything familiar with a desperate kind of attention.
Hmm. Interesting. Do you want to roll for that? See if you find what you're looking for.
Yes, I would.
Okay, give me a. I think this would be more hunt than discern.
Very well.
And let's see, we're in a graveyard, so that's. I would say desolate, but I'm not married to that.
Okay. And you said it is hunt plus
Desolate.
desolate. Let's see.
Oh.
Ouch.
Ooh. I think.
Crit fail.
Yeah, that's. I think what happens is you don't find anything tasty enough in this graveyard growing out because none of the workers yet, none of the people, none of the meat is fully grown or is already rotting. And, you know, the sandwiches which were prepared have already been eaten. You might have given like a nice sandwich to your knife, but too late for that. I think the conclusion that you come to is that, well, you know what you taste like to the knife.
Ugh, this again. And they didn't find the body they were looking for, the particular one. And they sigh. They kind of look at the doctor for a moment. This is going to be such a problem. And they cut off one of their fingers for their knife.
Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Roll a d6.
Yep, you got it. Oh boy. 6. Yeah.
No.
Tracks.
And then multiplied by 2.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, okay. 12.
Oh, goodness. So that maxes out your blood tracker. See, the max on that tracker is 12. You already had 4
Could
blood.
I split that between mind damage as well, potentially?
Oh, I was just
Like
gonna
the psychological damage.
I was just gonna give you the major fallout and then clear the tracker.
Fair enough. I'll take that too.
So yeah, clear blood stress, but I don't even have to roll the fallout test because it's gonna be 12 or under, and because it's a 12, you gain major fallout. I think in your hunger and in your desperation, you're not paying attention to what you're cutting, and you cut off your hand instead.
Yep. The whole thing.
The whole thing just boom falling off. And yeah, no, your character sheet now has a fallout name, dismembered. All physical action, all
hell
combat
yeah.
actions are going to be risky.
I like
Gotcha.
the
In fact,
idea. Oh, so go ahead.
The doctor sort of watches with clinical disinterest as you sort of saw off inside how he will very carefully pick it up off the floor and put it into a bag, which goes into his voluminous lab coat before coming over and helping to staunch the blood flow.
The hand twitches like it had a spark of life in it all by itself, and then lies still as you.
Oh, it does.
Well, I was going to be a slightly busy lunch break, he'll say, reaching into his Physica's bag. So what I was going to offer to do was to turn to who was I going to talk to? Contour, and ask if I could assist with repairing some of the blood damage that they'd taken and the rents in their abdomen from the chair spear. Which I can still offer to do, of course.
You know what? Why not? I could do with a little bit of an external perspective on the contours of my body.
Okay. So I have the Physicus bag, which I believe heals D6, has tags blood and mend. Is that just a standard mend roll then, Ruben, or do I need to?
Yes, no, that gives you access to the men skill for this one, but it does use up the resource.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Oh, okay. If you're okay with doing that, you can save it for later, depending on how you feel things go down.
How much of a battering did you take?
I currently only have 2 blood stress. I have resistance to
fair.
physical damage.
It'll
We can do this narratively, and you don't need to make the roll.
Yeah,
where,
presumably there'll be some assisting and repairing without actually doing too much. And similarly for
you bring out like anesthetic or whatever from the thing, and Contor's like, that's not necessary. As he removes the blazer and is now just kind of just topless in the middle of a graveyard, while we see bees at the edge of the wound, slowly trying to patch it back together. They're right being able to get the vague shape down, but my curves better than anywhere else. You can.
Some of the half-grown workers in the field goes like, "Hey, lunch with a show."
Yeah, Contour head beyond where the neck could rotate, just turns a full 180 degrees to look at the person who catcalled and winks.
I like the idea of reaching into the Medicare thing, bringing out sort of needle and thread, and also a small lamp with smoke to calm the bees down to the repair.
It's good. Contour has smoke for the bees. That's that you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, the needle and thread. No, not the thread. You have the sculpting tools. Do it properly.
Of course.
I think while watching this show go down, the beating drum has added the face of the foreman to their sandwich. I'd like to pop off desperate measures and consume the flesh of something or someone that I've recently killed and gain a skill associated with them for the remainder of the situation.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, you chow down on this former overseer. And I think what overseers are really good at doing is using social power and the promise of consequence to have workers do their bidding. You gain access to compel.
Excellent.
Yummy. How's it taste?
It tastes expensive.
Kind
of a little bit piquant maybe, but yes, I would definitely say that it tastes of owing something to someone, just given who the foreman was anyway.
Yeah, you know that incarnadines don't become incarnadines unless they have racked up immense amount of debt. And on that note, the other incarnadines, uncaring and unfazed by the fact that you're eating his former coworker, goes, so you've met Rodamonte. We've also met Rodamonte. He's been a real stand-up guy trying to help us gain access to the Gothic corpses. And since you've so kindly offered to help us, Rodamonte, why don't you share with them what you've shared with us and what we've been trying to do all this time? And then the goblin, Rodamonte, comes back into view, also eating sandwiches. It's unclear which one or what is on it. You can only surmise that it is quite delicious. And he goes,
All right, so the plan of the Gothic corpses is to reject, perfect, or remove. We have come to the understanding that in order to gain access, we must either present an idea that is entirely perfect within its own column of cognition, or we simply prove that one of the other 3 parts are inferior, or remove them entirely. So we perfect our own, we reject
something else, or we remove them. And you can help us with a lot of things if you are choosing industry after all. And he has like a dour look on his face, the dire expression even.
Contour has an expression like, please. We already have a plan in progress, but considering what we have in mind, additional votes might come in excellent handy. And hey, once we start making the rules, I can make sure that you get to do whatever you want, baby. There's like a long, well-manicured finger, like, boops Roland on the nose.
Oh, you already were trying to... you're trying to sell... Okay. I thought when you chose election, you were gonna help them out, perfect their goals, but looks like you might help us reject them instead. Am I picking up what you're putting down, sweet thing?
There's a blithe shrug. I'm the only queen of this castle. Other people's rules are to be followed as interesting as I find them.
Hachi mama.
And he does a...
Keep it in your skull. Like the whole like whistling wolf kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Keep it in your skull, Tex Avery. Otherwise, Orburn's probably going to take those eyes from you. They're not blue, but they'll do in a pinch.
Oh, curious of that one's spleen, if I'm perfectly honest, my friend. He'll say with quite a friendly smile, cleaning off the tools he's been using.
Mm-hmm. There are the love handles that I have grown to be attached to. Thanks for the good job.
Always a pleasure. Say with a smile.
So, as GM, I'm asking, there are 3 options.
Mm-hmm.
You've kind of leased out or at least you've said that you would help industry. You could do that by, as explained, perfecting their stake in opening the God of Corpses, or moving to another 3-part and rejecting them from their point of view. You can also, of course, betray, the overseers and Bradamante and just throw caution to the wind, whatever. But I'd like to know, what avenue are you willing to pursue here?
So, I'm happy, to discuss this out of character voice for expediency, but Contour's general plan is to go to elections, fucking rig those elections, make the rules, and then just be like, well, we have to be let in. We've made the rules. But there are obviously steps in getting to elections and things like that, and what the rules we set are that Contour hasn't, thought that hard about yet. That could also take quite a while, and what industry are offering might be more immediate.
If we decide to continue towards elections, I think that the Beating Drum would like to use their brief moment of clarity for the compel to make the argument that, well, of course, what is the first part of society that always benefits from fair and open elections with massive amounts of irony dripping off of that? Then industry. Thus, it might
both
be
of those ideas.
Yeah, it might behoove the industrial sector to help along the elections to the detriment of the third.
Because hey, if all of these people are on our side and vote the way that we tell them to, stares directly into camera.
Hey. Oh, Rodamante goes, wonderful. Okay, yeah, we can get you into elections. And between you and me, Bradamante, the election goblin, no good. Very elitist, very haughty. Can't really do anything herself. But we, through the power of synergy and entrepreneurship and
Non-stop hustling.
and union busting as well, we can achieve anything we set our minds to. One of the corpses in the ground goes, "What's a union?" and immediately gets eviscerated.
So you're united with the world.
And we shall unite. Well, we're clearly going to be uniting these three sectors together to a very important goal. Are we done eating?
Yes, just for now. I just might pick something more for the journey. He'll say. Sort of wandering over to one of these strange flesh trees, pulling a sack from his bag and collecting one of the smaller developing bodies and pluck it like some sort of piece of fruit from the tree and place it gently within the bag.
Wonderful. Yeah, you gain worker's gland.
It's gone.
It looks like an apple. It doesn't taste like one.
It doesn't taste like one.
Lovely.
Add it to the inventory. All right. Do you want to, like, for the sake of expediency, just go to the gate?
The gate of election.
Let's go.
All right. You approach. Let me change the music here. Let's see. There you go. As you approach the three part of elections, you see a conceptual border. You can see across it, over it, you see everything that's beyond it, and what you see is a barren wasteland with a single cabinet and 6 chairs. The border is very much real, in your mind at least. There seems to be an overseer there, not like the labor overseer you just met, but more of a bureaucrat. It is a statue that has an arrow to the left pointing with an arrow that says accredited and an arrow to the right that says applicants. It notices your approach and hails you. Halt! Do you have the skill set?
Does anybody kind of have a bit of a world knowledge kind of skill or domain that we can use here so we like know this already?
Para is very discerning, so they might be able to figure out what's going on.
I would consider this a discerner, yeah.
All right. Para steps forward and goes, "Everyone is skilled in their own ways, no?"
Give me a discern and let's say desolate.
Hooray.
10. Thank you, dice. Thank you, dice. I had to chop off my own hand, but here we go.
Yeah, sacrificed it for it. The statue responds in shock and awe, going like, "But I thought that skill sets had to be quantified on paper and checked, double checked by an elite." Okay, wow, you have freaked my bean. I
I've
see.
been known to do something of that nature, yeah.
I sense that you do have diplomas with you, giving you suffrage and the right to enter the domain of democracy. But the faces don't quite match, and the names are probably false too. But you know what? I trust you and your skill set.
Contour goes over to the statue and offers up the diploma with the just in case you need to. You can save your time verifying all of us. We're legit. And gives the the face match. I've had a bit of a touches drooping side of the face, mild injury, but that happened to me after the photo was taken. Mean streets out there, you know.
Understood. Lying added to resume.
Like I said, we all change and grow.
And the statue overseer kind of like opens up an opening large enough for you all to pass through.
How many chairs did you say were at this table?
6.
Is that motif carried across the room in sets of 6s?
No, the only thing that you see here is not a table. It was a cabinet with 6 chairs facing it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you approach, the cabinet creaks open, and you see a head emerge from inside of it. Who are you?
We are here. Contour Insurance. Slowly trying to push part of their face back together. We're here to make our way into the world of politics.
And what gives you the right to do that?
Knowledge of
Well,
the
we're going to be
surface,
the
my dear.
ones who go into the heart, aren't we?
Mhm.
Obviously, we should be in politics before that.
We have elected none of you. In fact, we're still not done with our own elections.
Oh,
Then how do you know you haven't elected us?
In fact, my friend, says, just on a question, Ruben, would this count as a landmark of some description, do we think?
This would count as a landmark, but it's not a tier 3 one. If you're
That's okay. It's more for utilizing an ability.
Gotcha.
So my office has always been here. Neil reaches hand out. I believe I get to make a mend plus occult to use my major ability to summon my lair to this location.
Ooh, yeah, go ahead.
And bend the rules. So it is mend plus occult. Right, wasn't it? Yeah.
Hey, big 9. Yeah, tell me what happens.
Sort of behind the cabinet itself, this sort of, I want to say almost like concrete pair of, like, stone pair of doors just appear behind it, locked with a series of various bolts and a huge sort of iron handle, which the good doctor will walk across and produce a key. Will open with an audible clunk that echoes throughout the desolate land.
The figure in the cabinet looks at it and is like, huh. We have been debating for so long. We have not seen this. It escaped our oversight. We'd have to add this to the census immediately. Tell me, who are you? You seem to have some importance here. You can contribute to our process.
We are merely travellers, friend. Those who wish to settle upon the apex of the god of corpses, which we all have our own goals.
You get a not so gentle nudge in the ribs from Contour. Think grander.
He'll gesture. You have a much greater way with words than I, my friend. Please feel free to fill in the gaps.
Oh no. Oh well, fair enough.
No, you have to go for it. You've obviously got a good one for it.
Yeah, there's probably a mend roll that I need to do to put my face back into place. Which, if you're busy filibustering, I wouldn't mind quickly making that mend roll while you're like, "Why, yes, we are merely travelers." In the background, Contour's like, "Come on, put it back. Come on."
All right. Yeah. No. Give me a mend, because you're there's no station. There's no makeup station here, so it's going to be a mend plus desolate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, buddy.
5. I still
Oh,
fail that.
Contour,
I've been
no.
rolling terribly today.
Oh no. Let's see.
If it was a 6, I could do something with that. But yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, how do you fail this?
I think in the nature of trying to reconstruct myself to something that would be I think there was a moment of staring at this figure emerging from the cabinet where Contour has already got a kind of measure of their sense of aesthetics and what the cabinet man would like, but instead gets kind of caught up in noting sets of 6s everywhere. The 6 chairs, there just happens to be a kind of like the way that the tiles of this place are set is in an interesting pattern. And Contour reconstructs her face in the reflection of the room, not really paying attention to the idea of making a human face. It is a face that reflects the environment.
Interesting. I'm gonna say everyone else but Contour take D4 mind stress. As this visage is quite unholy.
Ruben, may I elect to put this stress upon my bond? Even though I feel this unnerving facade may unnerve the those resting within my lab. Or she who rests in my lab.
Yeah, no, I think so. You hear like a guffle, like a muffled shock of terror from inside it.
Don't know how you actually mark on a bond.
But
That's only one anyway. Too
lucky.
bad.
Soaked. This means nothing to the beating drum.
Makes perfect sense.
You've seen this happen a handful of times before.
Oh, yes.
What about you, Para?
Para got a 4 for that mind damage, and I think it kind of like watching Contour rearrange their face in this kind of horrific way sends them back to the moment of like cutting off their own limb, and also feeling a bit like their insides have been cut apart as well, in this kind of heavy, empty.
Yeah, I think you feel like resonating from, like rippling through Contour almost, is the sense that what you see, this face right here, is not a singular entity, it's part of a duality, and it is amplified through Contour's interpretation of that, which makes it all the more fractured. Like, what is the true self? What does that actually look like? And you get glimpses of things that are incomplete, and you are very well aware what is missing from you. No fallout though, so that's
Oh,
good.
nice.
Woo! Let's go.
Doctor immediately reacting to the sound coming from the hospital. Do excuse me, friends. I must attend to this, and we'll march straight into the lair. And in his hurry, we'll probably leave the door just fractionally ajar.
What do we see?
Probably not a lot, unless someone actually wants to go in. Cold clinical tiles of what would probably be a lab or operating theatre.
The person who is now a reflection of the space says to the face within the cabinet, "Please do take an exploration of the new developments of collection while you were busy deliberating. The door
Yes.
is open for you.
We shall. And emerging from the cabinet are, on one body, 6 heads, with, at the back of each head, another face. You notice that as this one figure was talking to you, its mouth did not move. As only the mouths on the back of the head speak to you. As it emerges, it is colossal. It was hunched over in this cabinet, deliberating whatever dealings go on in cabinets. It's the weirdest 7 minutes in heaven ever. And it approaches and goes, "We can tell that, yes, you are exactly the skill set that we need to perfect our craft. You see, one of us has almost figured out how to become a god. It just requires the right paperwork, and then you're there." And another face kind of looks at you. Like, our name. Hold on, I have a real note. Shit. So sorry about that. Oh, I thought I had it organized better.
There is inevitably a point in any set of notes where you're like, I have lost my place. Hold on.
Oh yeah. No, I found them. Our name is Rosemary in Time, and we have figured out how to become God. Now, you must help us, because then we can have an election with the God of Corpses. We can invite it into our suffrage. We can extend it our possibilities and allow it to debate with us.
You figured out how to become a god so that you could debate.
Yes, because what other ways to gain more knowledge, to gain credits, to gain respect in the eyes of the masses is there, and to show the force of public debate?
But which
fear you.
one of you shall be the one to make the debate? Who amongst you is voted the strongest, the best, the one most worthy?
They all look at each other and go, "We have not actually voted on that yet. We just know that we've almost perfected the process. Then we will vote."
It sounds like you need an impartial third party.
I think there'll be a clang at this point as the door to the lair closes. The bag we've been carrying earlier, now suspiciously empty. Yes, friends, we would most certainly be happy to assist you with this.
Great. The only thing that has to be done is this. And they gesture back at the cabinet from which they came, and it does not show the interior of the cabinet.
It's just darkness behind there.
No, actually, it is a glimpse into a entirely frost-bitten world, cold and lifeless and pure white. We cannot find and defeat what needs to be done for democracy. Please, go in and do it for us.
The blink. Well, I don't feel the cold so badly. They say, turning to the others.
To explore this strange new location.
Very well. but I have a word of advice for you. If you're trying to become gods, perhaps you ought to change your worldview, because gods don't vote, nor do they debate. They carve each other and everything up in their path and extend their own power of will over anything that dare stand in their way. They don't vote.
Give me a compel roll with messery, because that was really effective.
Ooh! What else should I roll?
Let's see. So you gain mastery. I think this is religion. This has to do with religion.
Yeah, let's go. Crit success.
Hey!
Let's go.
The cabinet's door slams shut. And the cabinet itself kind of falls over. As these, as the parliament here, look around in a panic, because their one access to whatever they would have conceived of as true democracy is just simply locked behind it. It seemed that whatever was inside of that cabinet, inside of that wintry landscape, thought your words were more compelling than anything else these six twins had to offer it.
Oh.
And in complete and utter destitution, they look up to you, and you see what, like, the visual representation of, or the conceptual representation of a vote being cast your way. And you feel yourself being elected, but you're not sure for what that might be. You have an idea, but it's not that clear-cut.
Uh-huh. So, the die now rolls in my favor. Are you going to let us in, or not?
There is what would constitute as a raised eyebrow. It's very hard to tell with how Contour currently looks at Para. And putting two and two together, I vote for Paradox.
I too vote for Paradox. I'm sure she'll lead as well.
You have always.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it. No, okay. You have always relied upon us to rely upon you. I vote for Paradox as well.
There is a pointed stare at the workers from industry who have joined our little quest over.
Mm-hmm. How do we do this? Is it like a machine? Do we just say it out loud? Okay, yeah, we vote Paradox.
Your votes of confidence are everything to me. Thank you for enacting your will upon the world. May we all be unto gods.
As you say that, you see the centerpiece of this, of the god of these three parts, the god of course itself, shift rapidly. You see in the distance the crowds that have formed around the mouth being flung into the air, crashing down quite gorily. And this mouth, this neck, forces itself down, utterly crashing on the Parliament, leaving no trace of it, or them, or the cabinet. The mouth slit forms a smile before briefly baring, not teeth, but baleen, and then opening itself to you. what do you do?
Yes, this is time, friends. Let us see what the future holds.
Congratulations,
Let us-
Paradox. You can
The
tell
thanks and
how jealous
gratitude is all
Contour is
mine.
of you.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Paradox fixes Contour with this kind of intense curiosity. There's room at the top for all of us, Contour. We need to only reach out and take what's already yours.
Yes, yes, but it's always nice to climb the mountain first.
The view from up here is charming.
The mouth beckons.
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
We march forth. Jesus Christ.
Into the mouth. As expected, it closes behind you. But inside of its palate, inside of the esophagus leading up, you see that this is not just a corpse that you've walked into. There are lights fixed. There are houses built into the soft palate, into its gums, and an intricate system of ladders leading all the way upwards.
Wonderful. What a sight.
It seems that you were not the first to enter. You might not even be the last ones.
Sorry that you're not treading any new ground.
All of this is new ground, really. Why should we let those who failed before us define who we are? Why should we let anyone define who we are? You know that better than anyone, Contour, don't you?
True enough. Alright, enough being a jealous bitch. Let's go get this bread.
I love it when you talk like that.
I'm not going to make you roll for climbing the ladder. Just hear the echoes of a song about eating snakes. It's weird. As you go up, you see from these little houses lining the lining of the esophagus, creatures. Not monsters or anything, but possibly pre-evolutionary beings. Things that humanity was before it adopted the visages of humans, of Elfir, of Drow, of Gnolls. These are ancient things. They poke their head out in careful curiosity, only to kind of shrug their shoulders, roll their eyes, as if you're not bringing the hope that you yourself feel. They were expecting something better, but hey, what could possibly be better than the four of you? At the top of the esophagus, you lead into something lacking the familiar sliminess of the place. It's actually quite, well, church-like.
This place is too dry.
We've been sloughing around in blood for the entire day, beating drum. Certainly we can take one moment to find out what this is.
I suppose.
Maximum
I
begrudging.
promise, darling. At the first sight of any trouble, you can take your knife and carve the world from heart to gullet. Hmm?
Thank you for the permission.
What you see around you is definitely a temple. It built inside the gods of corpses. Who knows how long ago? Did the creatures you saw going upwards built it? Was it there before they even arrived? Was it there before the god even died? It's unknown. You see pews being cast aside, as if, sitting down and listening to whatever gave a sermon was not enough. They had to get even closer and closer and closer. And you see, at the end, where an altar would have stood in a normal church, but of course it's not a normal church, you see a basin formed out of grasping hands that once belonged to bodies such as yourselves possess. Grasping, forming a bowl, a place to wash oneself. And there's someone inside of it. I'm glad you've arrived, speaks the figure inside of the basin.
Oh, it's truly a pleasure to be greeted in this wondrous location. Might we be supposed to ask your name, sir?
Roland. Roland, who failed. That is my name.
A name and a title. How interesting. Pray tell, what is your failure?
I failed to end the old. I failed to birth the new world. This god lies dead. It is rotting. It is surrounded by opportunists. I have failed to create that new crack of bone.
Then perhaps you are looking for a successor. One who will not fail. Perhaps even more than one. Our little group are not particularly inclined to be giving up so easily as you seem to be.
Bradamante and Ruggiero appear before you all, out of thin air. And instead of their normal, or what you're used to, their familiar goofy voices, they all speak in unison in Roland's voice, saying, "We, as much as the god of corpses, have been divided into 3 parts. I too divided myself. Not by choice, rather, but by circumstance, by desires that were too chaotic to control. Do you remember the letters that have drawn you here in the first place?
How could we forget?
I sent them out to you. Because only the sordid selfishness of your desires, of your singular goals, can stir this god awake.
The architecture of this church that we find ourselves in, is it anything like what has been seen within Spire?
Ooh, good question.
It can
yes.
be no.
I think it would be interesting if it's yes, because it's hanging from the roof. It came from up.
Okay. Is this... I don't have a religion roll. I would like to kind of understand... I'd kind of like to attempt this anyway. There's a reason why it's here and not within the spire. It moved. And it may have moved before Contour has been around. And I'd like to discern if this is something... Excuse me. if this has been a religious practice that has existed while Contour has been alive.
Oh yeah. Give me a discern religion roll.
Sure. Discern religion. Let's go. A real number? A real number!
Hey!
Ooh.
What good.
Yes, a very real number.
It's something about the way you've shaped your face to reflect multiplicity at the site of the election. It resonates with you. It shows you the fragmentness of ideas trying to enter this corpse, trying to take over, trying to rise it back to life. And you realize that it came here because it failed above ground. The spire could not present an idea so perfect that it would settle there. Instead, it was drawn to the supernatural, the weirdness of the heart.
Where
But
it might be
what
able to
happens
see
if
something truly
a
perfect.
god enters the temple of another? It finds no worship and it dies.
All right. With
This
that
used to be
Mhm.
Elfir, the Elfir's god, before y'all came so damn decadent. Before y'all still had purpose.
To that end, thank you for clarifying all of that. I don't think Conta's been paying attention to Roland, who failed. She's been just staring at the general architecture, the crafting of this building, how it is managed to so subtly and yet so boldly within its architecture direct people to worship in such specific, bizarre ways. And yeah, he's just staring and entirely ignoring the conversation at hand from these three goblins in triplicate.
Sorry, did what I just say come through at all?
I did, I heard you.
Okay, right.
Yeah. But yeah. With
Because my audio fell away there.
Oh, okay. To repeat, so you get my half of the conversation. Yeah, because of that information that you've given, and Contour recognizing this, they are entirely caught up in the architecture of the space and are not paying attention to what Roland's saying.
Gotcha.
Right.
Roland. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I just might take the opportunity, the revelation that this Roland sent the letters, stepping closer and even putting his hand, large hand, on the actually probably the head of one of the goblins, given probably they're closer, and say, so how would we achieve these, as you call, selfish goals in this place, this corpse of a god that was?
Simple. One of you enters the basin and wash yourself of the ideas, of your desires, of your want, and spill it all into the fluid, into the amniotic fluid that will birth a new universe. It can be the end of the current one. It can be an evolution. It can be something different entirely. But it has to be perfect. It has to be what I failed to present. Who enters? Now, I will also GM. I will also say that you don't have to pick any one person. You can also reject this premise entirely.
Of course. To which end? I'd be interested in, like, out of character, what is the internal thought from everybody upon hearing this proposition?
I don't think that the beating drum likes the idea of losing the heart. I think that goes against what they are trying to do.
I think from Orban's perspective, I'm going to yes, quite unlike Paradox. He doesn't particularly need to remake the world, as his goal's a lot smaller. Though I'm almost tempted to have a moment of taking some raw materials from Roland in order for him to complete his goal, which is sort of separate to whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Para, they do want to remake the world, so they are interested in that. But I think it would be very, very hard for them to let go of their own motivation. Like, exceptionally hard for them to do, and I think they would try not to do it. But to still remake the world through sheer force of will instead.
Contour, rather than wanting to reshape the world into something beautiful, this is beauty that can be captured and shifted into something unique. You know, this was a religion that existed in the old days. It's old hat, but it can be brought back in a new form. Back to the spire. I would like to sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I have an action to take if at some point, depending on what you're going to do.
I would like to reshape myself, please.
You get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I think there is the body of all the bees pour out of Contour and start to rapidly reshape itself. The crenellations of the walls become the knuckles and bones within her hands. You know, the kind of the arch of the ribs in her chest mirror the supporting beams in the ceiling, patterned with stained glass and mosaic. Even her neck and head become a spiral of hand-like forms, fully removing what would perceive to be a face, but still retaining the bowl, the captured form atop, and a circle of bees appear behind Contour, glittering in a halo, reflecting that of Roland who failed. This is Contour, but better.
Oh shit!
It's nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
You reject the opportunity to not only be God, but to be a maker.
Oh, I am absolutely a maker. I've made a new religion, baby.
I say I have to agree with my friend Contour here. We don't need to be gods to remake the world. I have an unhinged idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's gone.
So I would like to use my ravening knowledge ability to roll with mastery when I attempt to cast a spell.
Mhm.
And I would like to use, or rather misuse, because this is my favorite thing to do in any game system ever, to misuse a spell.
Mm-hmm.
To use my Sanctum of the Old Chorus. This would, in theory, open up a path to the old gods who are imprisoned in the heart by the upstart deities, and find some kind of temple. But it almost seems like we are in an old temple of old gods. So instead of necessarily just opening up a pathway to this place, opening up some kind of connection to the old gods, like to, you know, let them out or let them speak here in this moment.
I love it. Please roll with mastery.
You
So
got it. Okay.
While you're doing that, just a point of clarification. Was this a temple of the old gods of the spire or the old gods of the world?
Ooh,
Because the world would be the heart.
of the spire before it moved here.
Mm.
And there is also one thing I would like to do to Roland before I get the chance, but I'll let this resolve first.
8. That's success.
Hey.
Please describe of what this looks like.
Ooh. I think from these like spires from the top down, how they're are kind of spiraling down, it's almost like they get kind of wet, like the stone starts to melt away into blood, and the blood starts to like drip down from the ceiling onto the floor where it begins to pool and form a perfect circle, I think, that then rises like its own kind of like spinning wheel, that then like little eyes begin to open up on this like spinning wheel of blood.
Ooh. Does the blood fall into the basin where Roland is standing?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, the basin of these ideas that he's been fostering, that he's been desperate for, are tainted with just the mere presence, the mere notion that there exists something more powerful outside of his view, his worldview, of what it means to remake the world. Because, it's like you said, it's his limited scope that has led him to the conclusion this world must be remade. It's his lack of willpower, his failure, that blinds him to the truth. You can remake it together. And he is slowly sinking deeper into this reddened basin.
May I?
Oh, go ahead.
May I have my bit for this, if that's all right?
Go ahead.
The doctor, seeing the final throes of Roland at this point, will stepping forward with some level of speed and purpose, saying, although you may be a failure, I can certainly use the concept, the trifecta of mind and body and soul. And as he says this, his voice distorts as the doctor's true form sort of reveals itself as multiple spider-like limbs rip their way from out of the tattered finery, and you see what look like three ghostly, charred creatures clinging to his back, sort of tearing away at the skin as various different surgical implements shoot out, smashing into the chests of the three goblins and Roland itself in an attempt to extract the hearts.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, no, I think this is the biggest kill roll you've ever had.
Ooh. So I do get mastery on it, though, for the fact that I've not used it. I'm going to use my unorthodox methods minor ability. Once per session, before you roll the dice to resolve an action, I will state the result is 6. I succeed but take stress.
Absolutely. I think what happens is, as you take the hearts of these goblins and as you lunge towards Roland, his body is not flesh, it is failed ideas woven together. So this is, in terms of feedback, the biggest shock of like spiritual like paradox. It's not some name drop art other paradox in the room, but like paradoxical energies flow into your body, and I think this does force you to roll a D8 echo.
Ooh. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh.
Oh well, whatever.
The doctor's strength is strong.
Yeah, no, this is not the worst thing you've encountered. probably the amount of paradoxes contained within Roland does nothing to phase you, because you are met with, you live by the biggest paradox in your life, which is, I want to bring back the dead.
With a scream and a trifecta of tearing noises, Aubrey goes, Esme, I will have the tools. I will remake you with this, and will wrench the hearts from the goblins, and holding the paradox within his other malformed surgical claw.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Mm.
I think as Roland continues to dissolve, his head kind of like falls into like one set of spider limbs, much like Salome with the head of John the Baptist. Like you're holding this head, and the eyes are still open, and they're beautiful blue eyes.
Exactly what I was looking for. The aberration that was the Doctor says, as it starts making its way, almost ignoring everything else, to a pair of huge stone doors that appear one of the vestibules of the church, and slinks off into the darkness, skittering of limbs and metallic equipment as he goes.
I will say, Tom, you gain access to your Zenith ability.
Yes,
Do you use it?
absolutely. For obvious people, the Zenith ability for the Doctor is Perfect Resurrection. Which I just have at notes. At last, she lives again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take it away. Stage is yours.
The Doctor, it's his ritual to bring back the daughter once he lost. The doors presumably slam shut. And then are blown out, open again, as it seems like a sudden amount of time has passed. You see the Doctor with a look of care and love on his face, as there's a youngish girl who's on an operating table, who appears to have put a clawed hand through his chest and out the other side of his back. You'll see a smile and a tear from her eyes. Esme, you live it. And then we'll sort of slump to the floor, sort of crumble away.
The girl awakens and looks around her. This is not her familiar home. She sees a being that was once her father, enraptured by just this awful, awful spider-like energy, slumped and dead on the floor. She looks at the head on a nearby platter. She looks at the party, the remaining 3 people, a person made entirely of beeswax and bees, a killer wearing faces and just exuding the concept of hunt, and the most tired looking person that she's ever seen, and asks, "So do I go with you now?"
You must be Esme, correct? Your
Yes.
father has told us so much about you. Oh, so cute.
Agile looking.
Yes. Beautiful, agile, and glances over to Para.
So very soft and unmoored. That's the thing, Esme. In this world now, and they glance back towards the basin, you get to be anything you want to be.
Ooh. And I think with that, the camera fades away out of this interior church goes out the mouth of the god of corpses, which, from the outside, has undergone metamorphosis. Rather than being a slumped sack of flesh covered in skin, it has pupated into a butterfly. It never had a need to be reborn. It just needed to be looked at in a different light. And with that, we've achieved that new crack of bone. Thank you all.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, that was
so
delightful.
good!
Ah,
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Damn!
Nice.
Art!
We really did power of friendship our way out of that, huh?
fucking hell, yeah.
In a different timeline, we would have maybe fought each other to go jump in a bowl, like a barrel like Diogenes, but clearly not in this particular instance. Excellent. We have time to do comments and kudos, if folks would like to. I know that some of us have to be
Love
ready
it.
for a stream going on imminently, but I have time. So yeah, at the end of our sessions, we like to have a moment where we go around the table and each player points out a rad thing that another player did. Cool moment. I really like the physicality of beating drum. And how that then mirrors into their personality. The fact that they are like living shards of glass is cool as fuck. Oh my god,
Yeah.
what a character choice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
In your mouth and it's just all incisors. And I'm like, we stand
lovely.
a carnivore diet.
Thank you for coming along with me on that level of physicality. First off, to everybody, but also more specifically to Paradox for or specifically to Pi C for actually like going with me on that when it didn't necessarily directly benefit your character, but allowed us to build a connection that didn't just pigeonhole the beating drum into the goriest barbarian in existence, but actually allowed them to flex the personality and the obsession at their core. There were several moments where you just kind of went with it, and I was like, yes, thank you.
Totally. I loved it.
That you think of a beating drum as a barbarian, where I kind of read them as like a rogue with a 99% crit rate. Like, you don't need to hit hard. You just happen to hit for max damage every time you do.
God, especially after that first attack. Oh my goodness.
I was like, okay, all right.
Oh, I could not have asked for a better roll there.
No.
Character established.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of incredible acting and body horror narration, Nathan, what the hell? I loved that so much. Contour was such an amazing character, and getting to hear you like describe and talking about the way that their body changed, like in such a non-human, affectionate way, like literally transcendental, like a way of understanding the self and like identity. And I just loved getting to see you like play with that in real time with Contour. I was like,
time
yes,
with being gross. And I was kind of concerned with like, oh, well, you know, this is a blood splattered Kayavaka thing. I don't know if I can like do that, but I can make terrifying things be beautiful. I can do that. Let's lean into that idea.
Yes.
And you did such a good job of it. It was so incredible to watch. I was like, I am taking notes about like talking about body horror, not just in a way of like blood. Oh, stop. but like really in a way that it was like it does feel very beautiful.
Mhm.
I loved it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think I'll have to throw my kudos out to see just for as well the fantastic take on the paradox, just the permanently. I am so tired. The voice was spectacular, but also the being able to completely roll with it when the dice were just doing absolutely everything they could to ruin you as it went.
Yes, that
true
hand
fuckery.
moment.
So well.
Oh, that hand moment was gorgeous.
That
Mm.
was great. Loved it.
Oh,
Thank you.
And of course, since I've been working so closely with Ruben in terms of putting some of these bits and pieces together, the production values that you had in mind and that we got to execute together was astounding. The letters that we got to read at the start were really cool. You gave me options, and I'm like, oh, this one. This one makes me be the baddest bitch. Of course, this one.
Yeah, this really felt like such a beautiful introduction to the game system and to the world as well. But I also still felt like it had like a level of really beautiful personality to it too. Like I could feel your storytelling like voice coming through as well, but in a way that like highlighted and accentuated the kind of system that we were playing. And I think that that's exceptional work.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I was so not worried but anxious because this is very experimental in the terms of like how the story was going to be run and like what kind of themes we were tackling, and the fact that it seems to have all resonated very well with y'all is such a relief, but also the highest praise I can get. Thank you.
I'd like to add on that I really appreciate the use of music throughout this session. As anybody who's played with me knows, music is a near and dear part of my experience in tabletop RPGs, and the selections that both you and Nathan made for this really brought a lot of detail to the world that words can't always describe.
Ruben had such a clear vision of what they wanted the session to be like sonically.
Yeah.
Shout out Shadow Hearts.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Right. Before we go and whisk away and we all go and take a break, before we're back on air on the hour, 6 p.m. British Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. How about we just quickly go through the list and say where you can find our stuff. Draco, go.
Sure. My name is Draco Alexander, they them pronouns, and I can be found, generally speaking, at the World of Vania, my fantasy novel series, and working with a comic artist who has done all of my covers previously. You can find all of that at World of Vania, that's VAENIA, .card.co, or at World of Vania on Twitter. Or if you want to come see me stream tactics games as the VTuber persona, you can find us at the Come and Go Tavern on Twitch.
C.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Hello, everyone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. If you liked the character I played today, you'll probably like a lot of the characters that I play in the variety of streams that I am in. Most notably, I am a cast member and co-producer over on Transplanar RPG. If you don't know what that is, Transplanar is an all-transgender person of color-led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play livestream set in a non-colonial, anti-orientalist, grimdark fantasy world. So if that interests you, check us out on Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. We also have a podcast version, and all of our VODs are up on YouTube. We have almost 2 years worth of content for you to check out, as well as a written recap document if you want to jump in with us live. So check us out at Transplanar RPG. You can also find me doing a variety of streams, guest spots, mini-series, long-term campaigns, etc. So check out my Twitter if you want to see what I'm up to at any given time, because I am playing Unhinged character at every opportunity. And it has been such a pleasure for me to get to spend the last 3 days on this channel. It's been really great to meet everyone and get to share tables. And this has been truly, truly so lovely. Thank you so much for Nathan for the invitation and having me on.
No problem at all. Real quick, Tom, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, well, if you're all going to hang around for 45 minutes, 40 minutes, we should be running a game very shortly in the sound of the stories of the singularity system, which myself and Nathan have been working on over these last 6, 8 months, 9 months.
OSR deck building RPG, wild as fuck. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in 40 minutes or so. Ruben.
You can find me on at Urban Friend Den on the Twitter or on the Medium, and I invite you all to look at the Medium because I just published my first fiction short story piece in over 2 years. It's called Now They Shall Be Alive, Afraid, and it's about pirates and body horror.
Energy, carrying through from other works, absolutely. Right, we'll see you all very soon, but we are going to pass you over in the meantime to keep you all entertained to VTuber Tabletop, who are playing Dungeons & Dragons. I was actually guesting in one of their sessions last week, so please do show them, give your love and support and cheers, and we'll see you very soon. But for now, farewell.
Mwah.